Welcome to Moving with Intention, a podcast by Black Sheep Coaching. We hope the episode you're about to listen to is empowering, insightful, and helpful. We hope you're moving with intention in your life and taking actions, as small as they may be, towards becoming the person you want to be and living the life you want to live. Disclaimer: this podcast may contain discussion of sensitive topics that may trigger some individuals. Listener discretion is advised. This podcast is not a substitute for mental health professionals or resources, and we encourage you to seek those out should you need them. Welcome to Moving with Intention. On this episode, we will discuss the Wheel of Life. Now, when people come to me for coaching in these one-on-one settings, oftentimes they want to fix their life. They want to work on particular aspects of their life, but they're not quite sure where to start, or they've just gotten to a point where they're fed up with their situation. They want to improve, but they need help working through finding direction, working through their thoughts. They need somebody to be that mirror and reflect for them. And they need to have these powerful conversations to help them find that direction. We talk about moving with intention, but if you don't know what direction you should be moving with or moving in, it's kind of hard to move. Sometimes people feel this notion of feeling stuck. That's something I've commonly heard. I feel stuck. I'm not sure what I want. I'm not sure. So one assessment we like to employ is what's called the Wheel of Life. And if you Google Wheel of Life, you can find one from Numi. I will link it in the show notes. But I'd like to read what is the Wheel of Life from their website. So the Wheel of Life is a simple but powerful tool that helps you visualize all the important areas of your life at once. It's often used by life coaches and career coaches to give their clients a bird's eye view of their lives. By looking at a visual representation of all the areas of your life at once, the wheel helps you better understand which of your life areas are flourishing and which ones need the most work. The assessment actually only takes a few minutes to fill out, and I would encourage you to spend some time to fill it out. Make a cup of tea and sit down with a laptop or even on your phone. And essentially, what it's going to have you do is rate various areas of your life on a scale of 1 to 10. So these areas are health, career, love, spirituality, family, money, fun, and friends. And you have the ability to skip one if you're not interested. You could say, skip, this is not important to me. But in filling these various aspects out and rating them on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being, this is going horribly wrong for me, and a 10 being, this is perfect and I can't complain, we start to get a picture of where our life's at. And normally, after finishing this assessment or this exercise, I would ask a client, is there anything here that surprised you? What are you happy about? What are you unhappy about? And sometimes you'll find that they rated a section lower than they thought. And they said, oh, I didn't even realize my fun was at like a 2. And I'd ask, how does that land with you? How do you feel about that? This exercise can help provide insight, and it can help you realize what areas of your life actually need improvement or what areas you're identifying as needing improvement. Now, sometimes we know, sometimes we say, hey, my love life is bad right now, or, my fun is at a 1. And what you'll find is that these things often have a push and pull. Sometimes, if your career is going really well, your family might suffer, or friends might suffer, or your level of fun might suffer. So, the goal is not to get everything to a 10. I mean, in a perfect world, absolutely. But in a realistic world, that can be difficult to accomplish. The goal is to try to find a balance, try to find a fulfilling balance for you. And one thing I'd like to suggest if you're going through this assessment is at the end, you get the ability to save it as a PDF or you can take a screenshot of it. And as you implement changes in your life and as you go through life and you start taking these little steps and finding your direction and moving with intention and implementing action and taking action, these areas will start to shift. And I would recommend maybe, once a month or once every few months, redoing this assessment to gauge where you're at, to gauge how you're feeling. And this can be empowering too, because you may look at your previous one and say, oh, I rated this a 2 and now it's a 5. So clearly I feel better about it. I feel like sometimes we don't reflect enough, we don't write enough, we don't speak it enough. And sometimes when we just keep our thoughts in our head, I don't know that we give our accomplishments the justice they deserve. And I don't know that we feel the same empowerment, the same pride as when we see a clear indication that we've improved. So that's a bit on the Wheel of Life assessment. It's something that's used by life coaches. It can give this very overarching overview, and this kind of bird's eye view, as mentioned, view of your life. And if you're struggling to find direction, you're not sure where to start, I guess a piece of advice would be to take this assessment and identify which of these areas in your life is causing you the most difficulty, and then start to go down that path, asking yourself open ended questions. How do I improve this? What is one action I can take today to improve it? And in doing this thinking and looking at these various areas of life and thinking about the little steps we can take to implement, or the little steps we can take to improve, we start to become happier, and you notice that these numbers start to rise. And you'll notice that the wheel of life will start to look a little bit more balanced. Things won't be completely out of whack. You might not have a 1 in one area and a 10 in another, but you might find a better balance that has you feeling more fulfilled and happier in the long run. I'd like to thank you all for listening. A small reminder that you can find all our links on linktree/blacksheepcoaching. That's linktr.ee/blacksheepcoaching. It would also mean a lot if you could support the podcast by subscribing, liking, sharing, or becoming a patron on Patreon. I hope this episode assisted you in finding direction and moving with intention. And remember that big journeys start with small steps.